I think in terms of this evening, it was very, very educational, that's for sure. And I think in terms of a lot of the problems, in terms particularly the obesity, I was definitely not aware of. And it's kind of shocking, when you suddenly sort of hear how obese, sort of the population is in terms of the children. And we have been sort of bang on it slowly over the last, I think, 4, 5, 6 years. I think suddenly it is, really going to become a big problem, unless the government start hitting it on the head as such. We're really going to have in the next generation a massive problem. But I think in terms of the positives of this evening, yes, we've sort of done a lot of the doom and gloom, which as a general public we always do. But I think on a positive note, there's a lot of educational systems out there that are being put in place. I think in terms of the role of the TV chef, and in terms of television, social media, there's a lot out there that is really educating the children of tomorrow. And I think for me as a chef, I'm very much sort of pushing that educating not only my customers but also my chefs as well, of the virtue of eating healthily. And I think it is always the proven case of you are as good as what you eat. I think we should really look at that statement. But I think as a whole, what I've sort of seen and heard tonight has been very, very positive. I think there is sort of being enough that is getting through. As you said, I think it's really got to be put to the British public. I think the good thing with the British public is we when we hear something, we get up and stand and do something about it. I think the facts and the figures that we heard in the dinner tonight is definitely not getting through to the masses. And I think it is really up to them, the general public to get to their feet and to kind of get a voice, because we are very good at that. And I think again, if we look at the population of the UK, and in terms of we look at the north-south divide and the poverty and the poor and the rich. I think obviously there is a vast amount of people in this country that cannot at all afford to feed themselves properly, or to give the right food to their children. And again, the discussion of the heat or eat. I mean, again, I hadn't even heard of that statement, and it's shocking to think that we have houses in this country that have to decide, do they eat or do they heat their home? I mean, I think it's disgusting that we're in a country that has to have those questions answered. It's really bad. So I think as generally as we should, I think the public really need to hear these opinions, hear these problems, and really do something about it together.